Kia ora whānau, I'm TJ.
And I'm Trojan.
This is the Infection 19 podcast.
And today we have our third guest, and we're very honoured to have a hip-hop legend of New Zealand hip-hop, and that is the one and only godfather of New Zealand hip-hop, Mr. DLT. Thank you for coming on, bruh.
Kia ora, bro. Cheers.
How's life on the East Coast?
Sunny.
Always is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool, bro. Well, I've got the first question because I've been wanting to ask you a few of these questions actually as we kind of got to know each other and we've got that mutual connection and that mutual bond. Take me back to basically young DLT. What was the thing that made you get into creative stuff? It doesn't necessarily have to be music if it wasn't, because you're also pretty good at the artwork on spray cans and sculpting stuff as well. So what was that? What did come first? Was it the music or was it the other kind of art forms?
I guess it would seriously have been the pen and paper because of political and socio-economic situation that I was raised in. So in other words, we were poor, didn't have anything flash, so we drew a lot. Okay, pen and paper was accessible to lots of kids. We probably, in the world of people, Māori people probably draw a lot more than others. Now, it's in our culture, it's in our kōwhaiwhai. The kōwhaiwhai speaks to us and tells us to use it as a visionary tool, try and work your shit out. So every Māori kid doodles kōwhaiwhai on their bodies, on the phone book when they used to use it, all that kind of stuff, all that stuff. So it started there. The music was absorbed simultaneously. Music didn't come out till later on. So started out drawing and listening to music.
Yeah, wicked. And who were your early influences?
Oh, in the art, my influence has always been my older brother. He's the one who challenged me to think with the pen, design, think what you're doing. Yeah. So, so you don't die of boredom in the hood with nothing to do. So I take my hat off to my brother big time for keeping my mind moving. Yeah.
Man, shout out, bro.
But also Conan comics, Frazetta, Boris Fagello, these great artists who were doing poster fantasy art. The early Conan comics with big, muscly, hulky-looking guy. These artists, we didn't have many options back in those days. All the literature in the shops was designed for young white minds. So we had to, we ended up in manga and all the alternative realities, trying to look for a similar story to our own, I guess.
Yeah. And I suppose too, with the similarities in hip hop, and I guess being a Māori for the first time, because now hip hop's just everywhere. It's pretty much mainstream, which is good and bad, depends how you look at it. But what was it like back then, listening to rap for the first time when it hit the shores of New Zealand? Or what was your experience like as an individual and just like collectively too, just especially with Māori?
Okay, I was probably 14 years old, heard my first rap song. Would have been Rapper's Delight and The Breaks by Curtis Blow. Those songs gave me, I can remember it clearly because those songs gave me so much joy and inside happiness that people were telling stories to rhythm and they were lyrical. The early periods of rap was braggadocious, rhyming, uplifty party stuff.
Yeah.
My introduction to rap was come on, everybody, let's all get together and clap our hands, and and all you pretty girls say ho, and all you ugly guys, you know what I mean? It was like, it was just perfect, bro. I was a 14-year-old kid. It was just perfect shit. It wasn't until the message came out that shit changed. Like I went from hand clap, doing rhymes, to all of a sudden it was stories about the darkness, the dark side of life. So the message really set us off as a group of friends. We were all together, teenage kids, hung out together, and we started listening to the music intently, and then we started searching for other songs of the similar vein, because they meant more. Instantly, they meant more. So, we ended up in reggae rap crossover, ragamuffin stuff, which was often telling the stories of hard times in the hood and how to get over it. Yeah. So we were very fortunate, bro, to be in touch with the good shit from the beginning.
Yeah, that first wave would have been mean to listen to, because now we listen to it.
Yeah. You got to imagine, a couple of years earlier, Freak Out and Good Times were #1 hits on the disco dance floor. And then all of a sudden, these guys came out with the same dope music, but telling a completely different story about going to their mate's house. And it was an amazing time, for sure.
Yeah. And I suppose, too, with the excess of disco and the bling and all that, and then you just had this raw kind of attitude with hip-hop, it would have been. Well,
the reality was, bro, disco became white.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Fever and shit like that made it into a Pākehā thing, which was the beginning of the you can't get into club and dance bullshit.
Yeah.
So, for rappers to like to take it back and bring it back to black folk was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, man. So, with that in mind, because I'm thinking of modern hip-hop, and some could argue, well, what's your thoughts on the state of modern hip-hop, if you're still kind of into it, which I'm sure you are, like into hip-hop in general?
Yeah.
And we're kind of almost seeing the same, if with disco, how it kind of became taken away from the core, and it seems to be happening in rap, especially in New Zealand. It seems to, I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
I think, like when I was a young fella and I got into rap, and my older uncles, my elders said to me, "What's that bullshit you're listening to?" when I go into the kitchen and my 20-year-old son is, and they're listening to the stuff he listens to, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just find something to nod my head to with it. I can't understand what the fuck they're on about, but but I know that dude's going through the same shit I went through when I was his age, and it's nothing but good memories, Yeah. So
I think we do. I think we do lose that sometimes. Because I remember there was someone. You see it on like American. Some of the big talent shows and that, when they tell someone that they're not really good enough, and that. Like, I look at those kind of things like, I'm just like, well, really, if you like look at guys like Bob Dylan, like he can't really sing, but he's an amazing songwriter, And so, are you going to tell him that? Oh well, you're no good, like.
Yeah, well, with that game, songwriting and lyrics are secondary to the X Factor, bro. That's why they named their shows that shit. Yeah. Now, the X Factor is you can charisma. It's about charismatic styling. You know what I'm saying? So they want people. The game wants people who are next. The game don't want rehash shit. The game wants next. So there's two different interpretations of an industry. Now, the music industry sells sex. Okay, it's pedophilia. It's that shit. Okay, that's what it's about. It's about selling 14-year-old girls and 11-year-old girls to 20-something consumers. Okay, it's a dastardly industry. Okay, so if you want to win and climb to the top, you notice that all these people who climb to the top, they're all cheesy-looking motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's run-of-the-mill shit. It's a girl with a fucking acoustic guitar and a short skirt, or it's a boy with tattoos and a singlet on. You know what I mean? It's the same shit.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we're not allowed to put together a smart war strategy and go into battle with the kaupapa.
Yeah,
like what Conscious Rap does, like what The Message did, like what Air 2 did, like what we've spent our 30 years doing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I show up ready to battle for the kaupapa, but I'm early, or my T's are crossed, my I's are dotted, and they can't poke a hole in. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's one way of dealing with it. The other way is crying foul and calling yourself a victim of the machine and sulking. There's the two ways to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Air 2, because I wanted to ask, how did you guys form the Upper Hutt Posse, and how did you guys all kind of meet? And was it kind of your first venture into hip-hop, or like just straight up hip-hop? Or
Well, around 1984, we started a B-boy crew from a bunch of kids who hung out at the takeaways and the railway station in Upper Hutt.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the one.
We all kind of mingled slowly, kind of slimed over to one another and said, under eyebrow, chibri. You know, my bro Dean Tekupu, the bro from the posse, he had a tape deck, and the bro's listening to hard out funk and hard out militant reggae. And we're young kids, and it was like, hey, I like that shit. That's better than that disco shit over there. You know, we kind of gravitated together, and then we start talking to one another, and we find out we share the same views. Are you sick of this fucking bullshit being hustled in your own country? Our ancestors fucking got fucked over. The place is a mess. Statistically, we're dying as a people. Do you want to go out like that? It's like, well, if I'm going to go out like that, it's going to be in a blaze of glory. It's like, what, you mean get armed up and go and shoot cops? No. Fight them on the front line. When their shit comes to you, stand there and fight it. And it was inspired by the likes of Malcolm X, Huey Newton from the Black Panthers, who we met through rap music.
Wow.
Right? We heard rappers talking about people like Malcolm X. I can remember the first time I heard someone talk about Malcolm X in a song, and it was like, fuck, he called himself X. You know?
Yeah, I reckon.
The fuck? What's that shit about? I want to find out about that shit. Who's this Malcolm X? These guys, these are tough guys, and they are bowing down to this guy called Malcolm X. So I'm gonna go and find out who he is. Me and Dean go and find the autobiography of Malcolm X in the Lower Hutt Library and read it. And they just armed us up, just gave us backed our kaupapa. Like these people in America, these black folk, are suffering the same shit we are, disenfranchisement of your culture.
Yep.
You know, we didn't want to be black folk, and we didn't feel we're Africans or nothing. No, it's just like it's the same shit. We're a smaller version of the same shit.
Yeah.
So we all look at each other like, is that us? Yep.
Yeah.
For life? Yep. This hip-hop shit, we're going to get this for it? Yep. But I feel this shit. I feel the elements. I feel the elements of hip-hop are related to my cultural background. The storytelling, the dance, the art, the whole fucking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, do you feel that kind of intricate thing about you is that you know your roots and you know them well? Do you find that gives you that kind of the strength to do your music?
When I was younger. When I was younger, bro, I used it as a power. Now, in my middle age, so to speak, now I spend more time feeling for those who don't have it. And I now don't beat my chest about it. Yeah. I now keep it inside out of respect for those who are still searching. Yeah. Cool. Different ball game now.
Yeah, because that's another thing about you as well that I wanted to ask is when I first met you, I walked away from you thinking, man, you're actually a real down-to-earth, humble person. And I knew who your name, and what you kind of do, because what you've done is like an intricate part of New Zealand music, like as a whole, like really. And how have you been able to keep yourself so grounded?
Gratitude. The money. mana of my tipuna by my grandmother. The stories of what they came through. Then learn, read everything, absorb, and then do the statistics. We're damn lucky to be alive. We've come through a hell of a lot to be able to stand in this world and feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? The humility. My mum had 15 brothers and sisters, so we were taught a family way. We have a family way. Now, their family way is to honor my grandfather, who I never knew, by upholding the mana that they had.
That's wicked, bro.
My grandmother's people come from very conscious beings, and so did my grandfather. My bloodline is thick. So respect that. Respect myself. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Pretty basic shit, really.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, quite hard to do. The theory is basic. Yeah, it's simple, but hard work.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with personality clashes, all that other stuff.
Because this is a conversation that between me and Tej we've had quite a few times. That because we know I know people quite across a broad spectrum of in terms of musician. The guys who are just starting out to the guys who've been in it for a while, the guys who've never made it to the guys who have really done some really spectacular things, and it's always interesting because I've also seen people from the start go through to some real prominence and then they become someone very different after they've reached that line. And it really upsets me sometimes because then it changes our friendship and I don't really know why. And I've never experienced stuff like that, but I'm just like, oh man, and I try to have some kind of empathy with them, just going, okay, man, I get it, because when you get to, as you get more successful, I've seen it happen around them too, how it warps their world and people change around them and that's with me, I try to just treat everyone the same. No matter who you are, whether you're the cleaner at the bottom or you're the boss, I'm still going to say hello to you in the same manner, and just sometimes I just really wonder about guys like yourself when you've reached such a status that I'm sure your world is totally warped around you in some ways. And, but you've been able to maintain some kind of normality because what I said when I first met you, it was almost, you didn't really say anything besides my name's D, And I was fortunate before because I've met other people who've also got prominent names. And, when I first met them and you're kind of a bit nervous, but they were real normal. And from there, it kind of helped to bring down the curtain for me to kind of just go, oh, these people are just like us.
Yes. Yeah, bro. Definitely. That's been a part of, I guess I made it a part of my thing as a younger person to retain my integrity, which comes from where I come from. So I could never turn it down. I've actually used it to my advantage. This is some of you guys can comprehend this in hip hop culture on the streets of Auckland and Wellington in the 80s and 90s. A bit of mongrel helped. So that aspect of my past come from Omahu and Maraenui and the Bay made me a bit braver than the average Joe I was with. So I used, the darkness helps you. In hip-hop, you can put it in your attitude, and that's what gives you the X factor, is what you come from. Yeah. It's how you utilize it. So with that darkness from the hood also came the mana of our people. So it actually hasn't been hard to be DLT, I promise you.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I did, as I got older and had children, I needed to address some of the issues that I carried with me from the hood, like mistrust, things like that, fear, not so much the envy and jealousy, no, more the watch your back shit.
Yep.
So, you have to deal with shit as you get older. the best thing was my brother telling me to read. Read. That's what differentiates the haves from the have-nots. Is that the self-learned, if you learn what you want to learn, if you forgive yourself for hating the school system, and then when that's over, then you go back and face those same halls of records, but with your own shit in mind, you can relearn a lot of shit. So I totally recommend that. That's the difference between, those who are willing and keen to get up and do some shit and die for it, live and die for it, is knowing some facts about shit. So, yeah.
That's you read, bro. So I thought I'd just ask you based off that. For anyone, especially a young Māori from the hood, because we all kind of can relate to that, what would you recommend reading, the first couple of books on your recommended list?
On my recommended list of a young wanting to learn, okay. Oh, there's so many angles. There's history, okay. There's the history of New Zealand. There's many books that are coming out regularly, written by the likes of Ranginui Walker and these great New Zealand minds. You're kind of, if you're a young Māori person, you're almost obligated to read these books. Okay, the Anne Salmon books, the Michael Bellich books, read them. Then once you got a grasp of who you are and where you're from enough, then you can go and find. What I did was, by the time I got to 18, 20, I was on the hip hop tip and I was looking for other versions of the same struggle. And I ended up with the Malcolm book, the Huey Newton book, seized the time. I even read Martin Luther King's book. I read Gandhi. And then I went on to the likes of Lao Tzu and the Tao, and went deeper and deeper into the spirit stuff, into the Dalai Lama. And now right to the point where reading about people who channel from other dimensions just goes and goes and goes, Cass. A lot of the times with finding books, a good thing to do is to go into a bookshop and clear your mind and let the books talk to you. That's one method of learning. I know it sounds trippy, but it's fun.
I get it.
Yeah, you end up in some crazy-ass obscure places. Instead of going to the bookshop like me and finding the KRS-One book or the Grandmaster Flash book or the Bob Marley book, I go to the other section, go to a different section of the shop and find some shit. Yeah.
And I suppose that's a good way to approach your art. I suppose, do you approach your art like that? Do you clear your mind first, or do you kind of have a preconceived notion of what you want to do and then go for it? So, both of them?
Yeah. Well, with art, the thing like song with art, the thing is to try and honor the moment of thinking of a concept and materializing it. That sacred time between I want to do this and there it is you want to be present, because that's where the gifting to yourself is, the learning for yourself is. So yeah, definitely methods.
Man.
Yeah.
So if I'm correct, you were involved with Southside Records way back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how did that kind of come about? And what was, because I know that's kind of how it started to get into how we know you now.
Yeah, that's the beginnings for sure.
Yeah, how did that kind of come about, and what was the early days of doing live DJing? Because you were pretty much it, weren't you, and a few others?
You could count us on one hand.
Yeah, maybe like 2 or 3. So I can imagine, because all I can do is imagine, turning up to a club in New Zealand and scratching, what the heck? People would have been blown away. So what were those days like?
It's crazy. You don't often think of it, but Right, Southside first. Okay, let's get Southside. Right, Southside Records was started by Murray Kimmick. Murray Kimmick owned Rip It Up magazine. And he started Southside Records with a partner who was Simon Lynch. Simon Lynch was the keyboardist from Aotearoa, the skinny Pākehā fella.
Hey.
Skinny Pākehā guy. Right, he was also a musician, so he knew his shit. We had signed a one single deal with J-Rim Records out of Wellington in 1987 with Ear 2. And we were hunting. Now, this is how fucked up shit is. We were living in Upper Hutt. There was 5 of us in the crew. And one night we decided to toss a coin. Right? Heads, we stay in the hut and live our boring ass lives. Tails, we pack up our shit and we move to Auckland and try and make a thing out of the Upper Hutt Posse.
You decided this on a coin toss?
On a coin toss.
Coin toss. I kid you not, because we flipped a coin. It was tails. We had to fucking go. We stood there staring at each other like fucking ghosts. Like, what the fuck? And we were committed. We had committed. We stood. Mean. It was like we were kids. We were 17 years old. So we got in the car. We drove to Auckland. We had a meeting with Murray. Murray said, "I start a label." He had signed. At that point, he had Housequake, who was Phil Fuimana, and Christine Fuimana, and Maddie Reese, and Defaction, who was Tony T, and then they were ex-Aotearoa crew, right? So they had them sorted. And then we come along. Murray Kimmick done a write-up on the Posse and Rip It Up, got Kerry Buchanan to come and interview us, and we hung out, and he liked us. I don't know what he liked about us, fucking crazy. But so he signed us. So that's how we signed the Wild Side.
Amazing.
Yeah. That was the beginning. He signed the Posse.
Yeah.
That was, beginning. I had to become DJ DLT, I guess. And now DJing back in the day, DJing back in the day was the shit. It was seriously the shit. There was your trendy high street, Roma, Auckland nightclub DJs. And there was DJs in Wellington at Exchequer and Clears and these clubs that played black music, basically. Mix it up with the white shit. Now, down at Exchequers in Welly, we had Oli Maiava, who's a really cool bro. One of my mentors, someone I look up to. And DJ TP, who was like Wellington's first hip-hop DJ. He played rap music in a row. Played 5 rap songs in a row, major hip-hop DJ. When I got to Auckland, it was Mark Phillips, Simon Grigg, Roger Perry. These are the cool Auckland DJ guys. Now, they played white club music, like techno, and they threw in a bit of rap every now and then. So they started saying, "Oh, come and do gigs," and I'd DJ a bit before and after. But the thing is, guys, I'd never DJed popular music, okay? I could never do that shit. I can't play jump around at a gig. I can't do that shit. I have to play shit that's got a bit more substance to it. Okay? So I don't rely on the pop rap songs. Yeah. So it was pretty difficult to be me DJing like Jashaka in 1990 in a nightclub in Auckland. And then Scientist, and then Shinehead, and then, you know what I mean? It wasn't easy. So we had to gouge out our own genre, our own niche. We had to create a venue where we could play our shit. There was other dudes like me. There was Dubhead, there was Slow Deck, there was these other DJs, and we kind of righteous motherfuckers, really. Just wanted to play the rootsy shit. So we carved out this whole genre in Auckland through the 90s, and that's where the reggae hip-hop crossover thing, that's the Godfather title shit, kind of comes from that era.
Yeah.
Whereas we refused to play techno and house. I liked it. If there was if I felt it, I'd get down to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that just wasn't you, eh?
No. No, I considered the time of getting people together in a group and chanting and dancing together to be sacred. Not to be there for fucking alcohol. Okay, I stuck to the cope-up of there's 100 people in a bunch. Let's all fucking go there.
Let's go.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Hey, that's the one, bro.
Oh, the power of music, eh? The power of music.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah, we all have, eh, cuz? I've been to African Head Charge gig in Auckland full of ball heads. By the time they left, they were conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it was only temporary, but they were in the high of highs, you know?
Yeah. It can change people's perspectives. Can make people who don't even speak the same language communicate, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly, cuz. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I've had experiences like that myself.
Yep.
Where you just jam with musos who can't speak, but you play something.
Yeah, yeah.
It's on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
universal language.
You opened for NWA as well, eh?
Not NWA.
Oh, no,
I turned that shit down.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Why was that? Just wasn't keen?
Can we ask why?
I didn't trust their cope-up. Okay? Now, here's a quote from D. Wood. I trust the Ku Klux Klan more than I trust some half-assed nigger. Because at least you know the motherfucker's willing to die for their beliefs.
Yeah.
So I didn't really feel... I kind of suspected that NWA had a bit of true bliss about it, a bit of contrived. You got to remember, bro, I opened for PE 8 times.
Snap.
Yeah. So that was, to me, NWA was like a cheap PE.
Cheap PE.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, actually, from someone who was there.
Yeah, who was there.
Experiencing it.
You know, yeah.
Because with PE, it was war. We're ready to die for Black Thought.
Yeah.
With NWA, they just wanted to kill niggas and fuck hoes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This didn't do shit for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's pretty cool, actually, hearing that. So I suppose was that your thought on all, like, just gangster rap in general? Because that was when that was coming out, Tupac and all of that.
No, bro, you guys got a fair idea now that if white America likes it, it's full of shit.
Yeah.
Okay? It's contrived, conceived, designed mud.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, because 1987, 1986, 84 even, I was listening to Schoolie D, Parkside Killers, motherfucking gangster rap, handy. Okay? But there's a time and place for it. And it's not every day. It's not to the children. Right? There's a time and place for everything. It's just the etiquette of a culture. And once the scumbags came in and knew that the white kids had fallen in love with it, yeah, bro. All of a sudden became fucking cornflakes, you know? Yeah. So, but fortunately enough, if you know how to navigate through life, you can find your channels that you require for yourself.
That's the one. The one. Man, so the other big thing I wanted to know about was Shay Fu. How did that end up happening with Chains?
Shay Fu was in Super Groove. I was asked to go on tour with them to support because we were relevant, I guess. And we've done 31 shows, a tour of the country. By halfway through the tour, Shay could hear and liked our shit. And just started showing interest. And one day, on one of the legs between cities, he said, bro, can I jump in your car and listen to some music with you while we go to the next town? And I played him a cassette, a mixtape from a DJ that I liked back in the day, Silver Surfer. And he's going nuts, back to back on shit and crazy shit. And Shay fell in love. So basically he said, come in the studio and throw some shit on some beats like the bros do. That was the beginning of it.
True.
Man. And then Chains came about because of that, or did it happen?
Yeah. Yep. No, Chains came about from there.
Man.
Right. Literally, because I was playing support and Super Groove on stage, right? They'd done their white rock intro shit. They did 2 songs in, and then the set kind of calmed down. There's like 15,000 kids there. And then my white shirt, your white shirt, some fucking ballady type Super Groove song comes on, and Shay it's all dark, and Shay rocks out into the middle of the stage, and it's all nice and cozy and quiet. And then he just starts singing, and I just seen the look on the kids' fucking faces was like the Messiah had arrived. No shit, bro. I seen the little Māori kids in the front row just like he was Paul McCartney and the Beatles kind of shit.
Wow.
And I thought, damn, that's some street profit business right there.
I reckon.
Bro's from the street. He's got them. He's like, this evangelical shit I saw.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, the kaupapa needs this, bro. The kaupapa needs that.
Mm.
So in my eyes, I saw change straight away. Like, bam, we got to do this.
Yeah.
The idea, bro, the kaupapa behind the song was to give young Māori kids someone to fucking idolize.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
and he was it.
You're not wrong.
It did that. Yeah.
I listened to everything he released after that.
No shit, bro. Well, look, the number of kids that didn't rope themselves because they found some solace in the songs is fucking the kaupapa right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Well, one question I want to ask about change is, what was the feeling like, and try to best explain it, is when you get the call and they tell you guys are number one.
Damn. Damn. At that point, after 40 years of being a nigga, it was like winning the lotto, bro. It was like winning the lotto.
Let's go.
Like next minute, my fucking neighbors were smiling at me.
You've achieved something.
White people stepping to me in town saying, "Excuse me, Sonny, have you got the time?" I go, nigga, you wouldn't ask me that shit yesterday. No, it was crazy, man, bro. Like when you live for the kaupapa of the mana of your tips and your nanny and your koro, and then you get that information, bro, the ripple of that fucking pride goes back to them.
Yep.
Hold up.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
It's the shit.
And it's more valid too because you stayed true to who you were.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't change anything.
Yeah. No, cuz that's the thing about war. Yeah. Here I am, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from there, you could almost say that they call it, well, most people would consider it the golden era of hip hop, you know, the 2000s with Scribe and all that. That really started from that moment. From you guys and getting to number one.
Yeah. Yeah, when saying that Chains is just a extension of Air 2.
Kia ora. And that's you're the direct link too.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. That's how it is. That's how it is.
Because that was a landmark moment.
I've talked about this show online with my homies in America, and they talk about the golden era. And I believe that every generation has a golden era.
Mm.
It's your inception into the culture is the moment you get your golden ticket.
Mm.
So for me, the golden era was 1985 to 1988.
Yeah.
You see? Mm. And for a millennial generation, the golden era was NWA. You know, and Tupac shit kicked off and Biggie. See, so we've all got our golden time, and that's a great mother. That's a great culture that allows that.
Mm.
That's a great way of looking at it too, without downplaying future generations or
don't become the enemy, bro. Hey, don't become the enemy.
Because that's what we're starting to see in hip hop in general, just any culture, but hip hop. It's like a second, third generation through now, and you can, it's not the same as my rap.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. Well, look, bro, you don't try being me, and my kids look at me like I'm some ignorant old fool.
Little do they know.
I don't mind. Good on them.
My son, he loves the Fremantle Dockers team in the AFL. And their theme song is a play off TNT by AC/DC. And he goes, their song goes like this. And he sings the theme song. And he goes, Dad, do you know that song? And I actually play it for him on the guitar. I said, I was at this one. And he said, are you're that cool.
Good
Yeah,
shit.
bro. So I empathize with you, bro. Like, you know, you're cool in your children's eyes until a certain age, and after that, it just
Yeah, bro.
starts to
They're
decline.
like, this old guy.
Like, oh, 14-year-old, and she thinks like when you're 25, you're old as.
I wish I was 25. It was only a few years ago for me.
Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, good.
Nah, I mean, so yeah, I suppose what do you before the lockdown? We can start talking about today. What were you like? What you been up to in regards to art, hip hop, the whole lot?
I spent a couple of years doing a degree in Māori, contemporary Māori art and design under the tutelage of Sandy Etse,
Okay, hold up.
who's amazing old fella, amazing guy. So yeah, I've been painting canvases. I'd spent 30 years on the cans, and now I'm doing canvas. It's cool. I moved home, you know, sort of like retired almost, you know, just chilled out. Not frontlining it anymore, not at Matao anymore, not there.
But still,
Frontlining and
still fighting the fight in another way.
just more classy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a canvas and a paintbrush, bro, is like good for my health. It's not like inhaling fumes for a living, and you know. So yeah, I've been painting. I'll get this degree and I don't know, maybe teach.
Yeah.
But he's dope, man. My tutor's abstract guy, so he's right in line with graffiti. It's fuck. The relationship is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
There's some amazing work going on now, especially because I live in Tauranga with Mr. G. He's still doing.
Damn. That's
That
the
guy's
fucking D. Damn.
that guy's on a roll, man.
Oh,
So
that guy.
if that's the state of modern graffiti, then yeah, we're doing all right.
Oh, bro. What about the induction of the spray can to our culture? You know what I mean?
Oh. Right.
Thanks, G. I started something, you kick it off, man. It's the shit.
Yeah.
Good on him, mate. Just running with it, and you can tell he just does it because he likes it.
Hey, bro. Well, that's what makes it Māori, eh? It's easy.
He's like, this is not even. You know, and I think too that's one thing we've got as Māori we need to recognize is that we're actually really good at things when we like it. And
Exactly.
a lot of the times we call ourselves unskilled or useless, and the stats say this about us, and we don't get degrees till later. But I'm like, actually, we're quite good at things, and further proof. I mean, you look at how we took hip hop, pretty much ran with it, or anything.
Bro, we honored it. That's what we did.
Yeah.
You know, the dreams of my friends from New York who started this shit. You know, over the years I've become friends with some people who started shit. And they come down here and they are truly blown away by our ability to add our hip hop to our tikanga.
Yeah.
So we have hip hop in the water. This is my friend from New York crying as he's saying goodbye to me going back to America. Bro, you guys have hip hop in the stones, in the water, in the air. You guys you've fulfilled the dream that we set. He says, I come all the way down here to Aotearoa, and this is the dream we have. Because we're down the river throwing stones in the river talking about hip hop. Yeah, bro. So, yeah, and this is my mate who come from Puerto Rico and grew up in New York and was a graffiti master and a b-boy. And we stand in my room having a cry about it. So I'm saying thank you. Because I'm thanking him. I'm like, hey, bro, thank you. Thank you for standing up in front of those cameras and doing those moves so that the ballheads could put it on TV and we could catch it all the way down here.
Thanks for that.
Doing it. Thanks for that. And he said to me, thank you, bro, for showing me that hip-hop she's in a great place.
Despite what people say too, hip-hop is in a good place, I think.
Fucking A. It's the collection of ancestral knowledge. It's the grouping of mana. It's the best of Egypt, the best of Africa, the best of Polynesia, the best of Asia, all crumpled, squashed into, compacted, and given to hungry kids in the hood.
Yeah.
You know, You've been to the Bronx, you've been to Harlem, you've been to Queens, you've been to those blocks of houses with 500 residents stuck in it, and you can see the power, of what to us Polynesians, hip hop is tikanga, fuck, so what? That's how fortunate we are. Like, hey, this breakdancing's like kapai, hey, their rapping's like ori, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just a natural thing for us. We don't have to be inducted or introduced to it. It's just like, hey, bro, can you do that? Yeah.
We're just gonna rex it and do our own thing with it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
And that's pretty mean, because me and the bro had to talk about cultural appropriation, and it seems to be a big thing these days about this is my culture, but the way you're talking about it, that is culturally appropriate. You're taking the essence of something and putting yourself in it too.
Oh, bro, the law number 5 of hip hop: no biting allowed. You understand? No biting means don't do someone else's shit, nigga.
Hold up.
Put your spin on it. Otherwise, I ain't even gonna bother. You know what I'm saying? No skill, fuck off.
Yeah.
Skill is like, like, for example, in the last 10 or so, 15 years, b-boying has become just a highlight reel of super spinny moves and intricate, difficult finishes. Whereas the real root of b-boying for me is in the build-up. It's the moment you step out and represent and present yourself to who cares who's there, who are you battling. And then you had to, it's like in our culture with whaikorero, there's a technique to it, and it's the same with anything, like swordsmanship. There's a technique. So with the b-boying, it's the same thing. Graffiti lost it ages ago. Rapping lost it ages ago. DJing lost it ages ago. B-boying was the last one to kind of, and it's just technology has fused everything. Like DJing now, there's so many buttons and knobs. The fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Same with rapping. The rapping has become, there's more silence in a rap song than lyric now.
Yeah.
So everything's been flipped. So I guess our memory and our ability to hold great memories is the aspect of hip hop that no one talks about, because it's only us old cunts who have to work it out. Everyone else is deep in the moment, or the young ones are deep in the moment. So it's crazy shit. It's crazy shit. Yeah. Like some of the shit I can't stand. I can't stand this rap songs. 1, 2, 1, 2.
That sing rap
I need
stuff.
a fucking story. I need a story.
There really is no substance. And like you said too, there's a time and place for everything, but hip hop, there needs to be more substance.
We need more daytime stories and less advertising. To me, what I can hear in these new rap songs is they're advertising a lot of material products.
Check out my Nikes, my Air Force Ones, etc.
Well, just fuck it. Jesus, Nelly's a storyteller compared to sneakers, sneakers, sneakers.
And that's why I'm laughing, because the culture that hip hop was the anti-culture of disco, with all the excessive bling and the materialism. It's what modern hip hop in the mainstream has become, unfortunately. Yeah.
Like most things that get chewed up by the machine, cuz.
Yeah. But I think the internet's been good because, we don't have to just listen to whatever the radio spits at us anymore. So in that sense, the internet and technology has been good, because there's no way a guy like me would ever listen to any of the other stuff if it wasn't for the internet. So
for sure, bro.
Yeah.
But the curse of the internet is compressed vibrations, cuz.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So
doesn't
go and source that vinyl.
Same.
So source that vinyl, get that fucking stereo, get those big speakers, and then you will feel something that is missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose too, because it's you can almost binge on things like Spotify and all that. Like just next.
All of them.
Because I have 60,000 songs at fingertips.
Yeah. Like here's one. Like back in my day, DJs, b-boy DJs, looked for breaks. Now breaks come from every country on earth. So the excitement of knowing a particular DJ was the man of those types of breaks, and you knew, I'm going to get horn blasted and fucking stabbed and beat down with snares all night. But now, every motherfucker can source those shit, and now it's kind of lost. I don't know. You can't go to a club and hear the vibration of the vinyl anymore. It's like if I walk into a bar and the dude's got a laptop, like automatically the beer tastes whack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No amount of plugins is going to fix that,
But sometimes you rock into a club and you hear the hum of the needle sitting on a fucking steel record. It's like, yeah. So we're missing a lot. In this digital world we've lost.
Yeah.
Fuck, we've had our heads chopped off. Yeah.
Yeah, because speaking of the digital world, after Southside and all that, you went with, was it BMG, I think?
Yeah.
And I suppose you can tell us that story, but I know at one point they started dropping everyone on their record labels because of downloading.
Hell yeah. You know your shit, boy. Boy, you know your shit.
I've got old hip-hop heads in my family.
I was there, cuz.
Plus, you used to work with Four Corners as well, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the bro Corms is studied with him at Wintec.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so I kind of just
I
suppose I know a bit of my stuff. But I suppose that's when hip hop or music, actually not just hip hop, music started to change around that time. What were you thinking back then with the whole downloading?
Downloading. Oh my god.
Oh
my god. Downloading, thing. Right?
Because that's really the start of it.
Must be like New Zealand Music Month 1997, and the New Zealand music industry bosses, like fucking scumbag cunts, approach me and say, "Hey, we want to do a major campaign about downloading. We want you and Shayfu to front it." I was like, "What? You want me to tell kids not to download?" And he's like, "Yeah. Fuck out of here, motherfucker." And stared him point blank in the face and went, "I've been waiting for this day my whole fucking life." If you rednecks had run this game properly instead of the last 40 years of fucking Dave Dobbin and Neil Finn, you wouldn't have this fucking problem. Fuck out of here. Hope you die, motherfucker. No shit, bro. They hated me, cuz. They hated me. They're like, "What? Why you? So what?"
Well,
fucking lie.
One thing that I feel that as being a part of the music industry now that we did wrong was that we didn't embrace, which is what we should have done. Instead of trying to run away from it, we should have embraced it and adapted with it. And if I think, this is just what I think, that like if we would have embraced it more, we would have had kind of just a bit more parity, I reckon. Like with everything, then what we tried to, those guys tried to resist because I was too young at that time, but trying to resist it, and then by the time that they had caught on, the bird had already flown.
Yeah. Okay, this is what happened in New Zealand, bro. You're so right before what you said. The thing with downloading was pre-download, a DVD movie cost $125.
Wait, what?
The latest release DVD movies in 1996, 97 were $125 each. Now, rich honkies were buying that shit in spades.
Oh.
Now, post-downloading, no one bought DVD movies anymore. Your Elvis Christmas compilation wasn't covering shit. The fucking movie industry had taken over the records. With DVD, CD, DVD, that changed the game. I got a record deal based on movie sales out of BMG. Right?
Wow.
They had the Elvis collection. First came out on DVD. Bam! Million Elvis movies gone. 120 huck each. So it was that shit that killed the industry. The music was tacked onto the side of the film industry. And when the film industry lost its ass, that's when everyone got the sack off the label. I think it was 19 artists got rolled out of BMG because they had Wildside, which had all the alternative bands like the Pumpkinheads and the fucking Head Like a Holes. She had all those bands.
Wow, is that why we never heard of them after?
Yeah, bro. And Southside had, all the brown folk. So everyone got dropped. I was the last sacked on the whole BMG roster because I was still in mid-production when they did the cull.
Yeah.
They sent a guy down from America, one of those Jeffrey Epstein motherfuckers, and he just shut everyone down. In like 3 months, he shut everyone down. He sat across the table from me and gave me the whole, sell your soul to the devil or you're out of here. He's like, nigga, you'll be lucky you get to the airport. Yeah, it was evil, bro. It was evil. It's not really the game that people think. The whole independent record label fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
there was more major labels trying to keep those who work in their offices who had so much self-love that they thought they were God, trying to keep them going. So they're the ones who strung everyone along. That's why when everyone was hitting me up about indies back in the day, there's no such fucking thing. Unless you're selling that shit out of the boot of your own car, you're not indie. If you've got a PMD with a major, you're not indie. Yeah, because you're still under their command. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was all over. From 1997, the music industry was over. It took me 4 years to walk my ass out, slowly reverse my ass out so that no one could see me leaving, cuz.
Damn.
Wow.
Just leaving in stealth.
Yeah.
So
I only went in there to fuck it up, and I did that so I could leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the movie industry, I didn't even know, $120.
Yeah, per film.
That's ridiculous. In the 90s, that's the ridiculous. Even now, that would be, who's paying $120 for a movie?
Or anything.
Maybe video games for that.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, crazy, eh?
Nah, that's cool to know.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah, everyone got sideswiped because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because see, New Zealand we're like the most extreme outpost of any major industry. So we're first to get affected by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah. Yeah, no, I feel all your cameras cut.
Oh. Sorry, I'm just doing drugs. No.
Nah. Oh, do you want me to pause the stream?
You weren't going to share, bro. Come on.
Yeah, bro, it's like that. It's a crazy game. I could write a book about it because I saw a lot of shit that.
I'll read that book, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I thought about it a lot of times, but then there's also no real reason to dig up nasty old shit, eh? No real reason.
You should write it and then read it or release it after you die. So
yeah, like, no shit, bro. No shit. I'll write it, hide it away so my kids find it.
And then it'd be like, as soon as I die, let this fire go.
Oh, bro. No, we're from hip hop. It's like, put this shit out now. Bring it on, motherfuckers.
Hey, either way, man. Either way, I'm keen for that.
A lot of interesting shit in the game. A lot of interesting.
And I suppose too, because the industries in New Zealand, any creative industry is quite small, so it's all very. If it affects one, it affects usually everyone.
Yeah.
Sweet, man.
Cool.
Oh well, Troy, you got any more?
Well, man, we've done an hour, so
yeah, but
you know, I could sit here and talk with you all day.
I actually could.
We could do a catch up later on.
I definitely could, man. But I'd like to thank you. But before we go, you got any kind of anything you want to say? Can be anything, to be honest, to the people or to anyone really.
Yeah. Just love each other, man. Love your family. I know in these hard times, we're all starting to pull our hair out and look at each other across the room like, fuck off.
But
that in itself is a blessing. You're fortunate enough to look across at your phone and be annoyed at them.
Hard. Remember the last pandemic?
And good luck in the new world, everyone who checks this out. Good luck in your new ventures and your new world. To those who have been serving the communities through all of this, thank you very much. But to those, our future is different now, whānau. And we need innovative, creative ideas, not rehashed old fucking bullhead ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, we had with our last guest, we're talking about kind of just the world getting back to normal, and one of the questions that came up was, well, was it really
normal?
Yeah. What was normal? Was it good? You know, was it good to return to?
That's right, bro.
Do we really want normal?
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that I hated about the older world, you know?
No shit. Like bullheads, racists, bad manners, you know, all that shit.
Just the typical bad things.
Yeah. And I do hope that we have more spirituality coming out of us and intermingling with all nature's magic. I know it sounds hippie, but it's not. It's way more real than going back to the fucking slave trade we come from.
Kia ora.
All right, guys.
All right, well, I'm going to sign us out. So my name's TJ. Mr.
My name's Trojan.
I'm DLT, motherfuckers.
Thanks for listening to the podcast.
Peace.